For some reason, everything looks really blue right now. I don't know. Maybe it's normal. Let's see. Now we have Florida arrest. Oh, this is Mugshot Facebook. Mugshot Facebook. Good old Mugshot Facebook. What's going on here? I should tell that story. I think I've told it before. Maybe not. Look at this face. Look a little constipated. This is that beautiful Vieques hair in Alachua County Jail. Marijuana possession, not more than 20 grams. Drug equipment possession and or use. Let me go to the very last one and read it from the back forward. David McNerney. Should have done better at Korean in DLI. Obviously, that's someone from DLI who looked me up. My name. That's what we do. Before even Facebook, look people up online. Wonder what they're doing. Wonder what this person's doing. Wonder what my crush is doing. And this person apparently thought that my life was falling apart. And then this is OG Mike, the bully turned friend from high school, holding it down. Because I'm guessing he would have turned out just like you if he did. David had always been and will always be a good person. If he didn't mess around in high school, at school he would be somewhere else because he probably doubled your SAT score. If he wouldn't have hung out with me, he probably would have been somewhere else. But you know what? David has more potential than you ever will. I don't quite agree with my take on things then or now, but I think some of that's projection of his own insecurity for not doing good at school. I made my peace with my path, and I think it's for a reason that I did the things I did. But that's your friends hold it down. That's how I found this. Every now and then I'll Google myself, and I'd be like, oh shit, my Florida arrest comes up. Apparently, Florida allows all criminal stuff to be just public information. And so I find Mike that way because me and him, I've never, he doesn't keep much of an online presence. I've never kept any of it. Every now and then, like this year, I dabbled in it and then let it go, just to check out what's going on, peek my door in that head, and then just erase it all again. So, but me and Mike started corresponding this way. Florida jail sucks. How are they going to drop my charges and bill me $800 for court fees? That's what happens when you privatize your prisons. By the way, I was trying to do the chivalrous thing and take a rap for a lady friend of mine. And I actually played more chess during that week in prison than over the last 5 years. Those inmates have mad skills. Won me a suit. Peace to the gods, MW. If you don't like my fire, don't come around because I'm going to burn one down. That's the Ben Harper song. He says, you coming back to Cali anytime soon? I'm OC bound, but currently in the IE. So if you're here, let me know. I'm not into the whole phone number thing. More of a providential style of communication. Let's see how often you check your mugshot. Well, this is like another year later. Every now and then, every year or two, I would check this. Well, and since I check it all the time, let me know the time and place. We'll go from there late. And I said, I'll be back within a month or two. I'll post on here a week or two in advance, although there really should be a less ridiculous way for us to communicate pace. We don't even have each other's emails at this moment. For a couple of years, we're just communicating through my mugshot. Regular communication's too easy. I like the fact that I have to remember to look up this ridiculous picture in order to get a message out to you. I guess we could always use email. What'd you do in August? And are you back in Puerto Rico? I heard that they're on track to be number 51. English is the first language. Pretty awesome. Let me know when you'll be here. Please tell me you remember the day we had inmate monopolizing the caller ID. That's when me and Mike lived below those people who are selling meth above us. 3 generations. The baby, and then the baby's mom was the girl who, fresh out of high school, got locked up for her boyfriend for selling meth. She took a rap for her boyfriend. And then the mom, living all in the house. The girl was really cute, the one with the baby. I don't know if Mike hooked up with her. I wasn't skilled enough with girls to even navigate that type of thing, nor would I want to. But I got a vibe from her. But yeah, no, right as soon as we moved in, she got locked up. And then she would call our number, because we had exchanged numbers and stuff, and we were being cool with them. She would call our house from jail, and it would come up as inmate on the caller ID. And we got tired of running that fucking phone upstairs. We'd be like, inmates on the phone, and someone would have to grab it and be like, and it goes to this whole automated, inmates calling from blah, blah, blah. Do you accept the charges or something, something? We're like, yeah. We were doing her a solid. And then we'd run the phone upstairs to her mom. And they were figuring out, hopefully they weren't talking about stupid shit, but they had a lot of stuff to figure out because she was in jail for some fucking methamphetamine rap. So please tell me you remember the days when we had inmate monopolizing the caller ID. You know, I completely forgot about this pic until I Googled myself for some reason. And then I remember I was trying to get a hold of you. Seems like I Google myself for whatever reason every 2 or 3 months. Glad my employers don't. But yeah, top of the first page. The pic's not going away. I'm in New York City for the time being, going to sue the shit out of the NYPD for kicking my ass. So this is right after Occupy Wall Street. That's right, I said it. Well, and guess what? I'm high right now. Anyways, I'll be in CA around New Year, but you should really come visit New York. Black people speak Spanish here. Craziness. That's something I was, New York. I was like, man, there's a lot of Caribbean influence here. All the fucking Spanish speakers are Mexican where I'm from. I'll count on you to check this within a month, more out of compulsion. I'm not sure. Not everyone has a Mugshot Facebook. I think I might be onto something. I thought I checked this thing, and then another year. I thought I checked this thing a few weeks ago, but I guess not. Anyways, Mugshot Facebook's pretty awesome. What happened to Puerto Rico? I was bragging to all my friends you were posted in a shack with some banging local. What happened to that, lol? Hope I didn't put all your ish on blast, but I was bragging. So Jackie and I have another one on the way. I think he's up to like 5 now. I was trying to convince her that there was a possibility he would come out with a sword fashioned out of an unrealized twin bone. She doesn't think it's possible. Anyways, that's Mike who would fucking show me Dragon Ball Z and Grappler Baki, and just like our imaginations are stupid. At one point he thought he didn't have to sleep, and he tried to live without sleep, and it's just stupid shit. Anyways, I hope to see you soon. Just email me and then gives his email for all the world to see. Although this is fun to check out the pics, I'd rather know when you're going to be in town. I know I posted last, but I thought something that made me laugh. Remember playing chess at the coffee spot in Monterey, arguing over the word nemesis, and those guys straight out of King of the Nerds were playing Boggle, so we decided to ask them, and your instigating ass said that the guy was being rude to me and was like, I would look that up. Mystery Man, wasn't that a comedy? Yeah, I looked it up. It's a comedy. I was rolling. That story is like, just like when Mike started this whole Mugshot Facebook, someone was trying to give me shit. And it's like, I can beat up my friends, but if you touch them, I'll kill you. It's like me and Mike, all competitive back and forth, like my other friend too, Jay, like wrestling and fucking like, until you tap, until you don't try to hurt each other, but you got to make them tap. You're not going to tap until you're actually, that's how you learn to fight through a choke, until you either pass out or you get out of it. If you really, it's like chess. Checkmate is when, all right, I can't get out, and then you tap. But you got to, so we really sometimes are really hard on each other, even verbally or physically, but there's love in that, in cultivating that relationship, and even with my family. And maybe that's why I find friends like that, because my family's like that too. We're very hard on each other, and we talk the most shit. And even right now living with my folks, but the love underlies everything. So I understand my friends' insecurities, and Mike, the bully, isn't good at school, and we're talking about selling our writing this year, and I'm telling him about the projects I'm working on, and he's actually getting some interest from some agents on his project, but he admits I need an editor. He never really did the school thing. I read a lot, and I have other blind spots, but I think I can put together a decent sentence maybe. But yeah, I've always tested well, and so Mike was the guy that when I was in the military in Monterey, one of the reasons I did bad, I forget this, but I actually snuck Mike onto the base, and he was living out of my car for a while, which is a really funny, ridiculous thing to do. I'm living on the base in the military, trying to go to language school and become a soldier, and I have someone living. That was completely illegal. That would have got me my dishonorable discharge if they found out. He said that there's a security guard that walks around, night watch, that walks around the fucking military base, and he's in the fucking car reading books and shit, and like when they would come around, he'd like hide down and like duck from them, and then I'd go to the fucking mess halls and get extra breakfasts and dinners and put them by the car, and he'd grab them. He'd put out a jug of piss, and then at night he'd be bugging me. We didn't have cell phones. That was like 2000, 2002. And I didn't have a cell phone then until I got out, and Addie wanted me, I guess. My first cell phone was for Addie to get in contact with me. I didn't care about staying in contact with people. But I was checking on him. I joke around. I was like, you're like my Pokemon. And he was like, dude, you got to train me. You got to fucking take me out. I can't live in that car. So I'd take him out, and we'd go out. Like it'd be. That's why I couldn't study. I get off out of the school, finish all my military shit, and then I have to hang out with Mike for like 5 or 6 hours. He's like, you don't understand, dude. The times we hang out are the only times I'm out. That lasted for a couple weeks, and then we finally found him a place to live in town and shit, and a job, and he fucked all that shit up because he was being irresponsible, growing up, trying to learn how to be responsible. We had been through some shit. So when we were in Monterey, when we're doing one of those things, I'm taking him out of the car for the evening to get his fucking exercise, stretch his legs. Yeah, because he was living at my parents' house before that, and they were tired of his ass. And so then he moved up there with me. And we got a place for a little bit too. And also that's another thing, you're not allowed to have a place off base. And so I was breaking a lot more rules than just what were in my military packet. But we're at a coffee shop and we're playing chess. Yeah, we love to play chess. And these fucking dorks next to us, and we're talking about some shit, and they're being condescending. That's just like bullies physically could bully other people, but when you grow up, it's not socially appropriate to physically bully other people anymore. And then sometimes, I was with a gay friend in a bar, and he was wearing cutoff jeans, and I love this dude, but this is in Redlands, is not, maybe now, but even 10, 15 years ago, not the most gay friendly area. And this is like, yeah, the Inland Empire, very conservative Christian. And the dudes, we're in a roughneck bar, like out in the desert. It's like you're going into the South. There's cowboy hats and belt buckles and fucking, yeah, just you could just kind of tell the vibe. Might as well be like fucking sawdust on the ground. And I could just, my friend is wearing a tight shirt and cut off shorts, and he's very effeminate, and he's a sweetheart, but that's what he is, a sweetheart. He got mugged in Jersey before, and they stole one of his shoes, knocked him down, stole one of his shoes. So fucking, that's the wild praise on the weak. And I could tell the dude to my right, he's to my left, and I could just feel the hostility. The dude to my right is burning a hole into his glass of whiskey or his beer or whatever. He's just like, just staring, not smiling, kind of grimacing. Like that. Well, no, because that's upset too. He was angry. I can't even do anger on demand. Not in these shadows. But I'm just like, that's my natural diffuse shit. Is like, I'm just like, start teasing my friend. But always being aware of your audience and shit, and aware of your surroundings. It's like, there's kinetic energy here. So I just started digging into my friend. I'm like, dog, you gotta wear the fucking cutoffs. He's like, what? I like these. I was like, but you fucking look like, I'm not just, it's cool to be gay, but why do you gotta like scream it? And we're having a playful. He's the friend I would be like, we'd argue about whether it's nurture or nature. I've been like, the scientific literature shows that it's a choice. And he's like, oh, well, it's this or that. And we get to some interest. I always preface it like, I don't mean offense. And I always end the conversation by saying, this is a purview. And he's the one who told me, I asked him, there's this guy I'm working with. How do I think he might be gay, but I'm not sure. He's like, well, are you interested in him? I'm like, no. He's like, then why do you care? And I was like, that's a good way to look at it. If you're not interested in someone, then why is it your business? I didn't realize that all gay people might not want to talk about being gay. And then I kind of in my mind was like, oh, this guy at work maybe doesn't want that to be the main reason, part of his interaction. That's why he doesn't talk about it. Or maybe he's not gay, but like, he purposefully makes it vague where I wasn't able to get it out of normal conversation. And he kind of smiles like it's just, people's sexuality is their own. And my friend gave me that perspective. So we have honest, open conversations. So when we're at the bar, I'm just like, why, yeah, this is going to relate to Mike in a minute. I'm like, why do you got to just be so flaming, just joking? But knowing that this guy who's right next to me, who just looks like he's just fucking, I feel like there's something going on. So I turn to him, the guy who's fucking fuming. I'm like, look, do you think my friend looks fucking gay right now? And the guy says, without looking away from his fucking drink, says, yeah, he looks like a fucking faggot. And there we go. Now we've released it. That's exactly what's been on his mind the whole time, this tension. is that this guy really is pissed off at my friend being so flaming gay in this roughneck bar. And I don't even skip a beat. I'm like, see? You fucking look at, even he notices. But I'm digging into my friend as a friend, and I'm being very chill right now. And this dude, I don't know even what I'm doing, even right now when I describe it. But I'm playfully venting frustration, which otherwise is really building up in this guy. And this guy stands up, like, and then he fucking, like, walks out the bar and bumps into someone on his way out. And my friend's like, yo, what are you doing? You almost fucking got us in a fight. You see that guy? That guy fucking was looking for a fight. I was like, whatever. It is what it is. I'd rather fucking pop that pimple now than have this guy right next to me and then fucking, like, swing on us when we're not looking. I feel it. You feel the tension in the air. It's like, let's acknowledge it. It's like, and we started acknowledging it by first me digging into my friend. Look at dude, why do you gotta be so flaming? Joking, joking, joking. Now I get this guy involved just to check his energy. That's what I think the intelligent way to, you don't even realize that people are checking your energy. When I was in Puerto Rico, and this guy knew I was pissed off at him, and he had done time and shit. He was as street smart as they came, and he was fucking around with a friend of mine, and I just fucking was not on good terms with him. And I wouldn't, my friend was going to say what's up to him, and I wouldn't go over to his house. So I was standing over by my car across the street. He came over to say hi to me, which it's like if I wanted to say hi with you, I would have gone over to your house. I don't, but like he came over, so but he didn't come over and shake my hand. He was like, oh, what's up? And he touched my stomach and my back. He was like, oh, he patted me. And afterwards, I was like, what the fuck was all that touching about? I was like, oh, he was feeling if I had a piece on me, or he was like feeling if I had a weapon. But he just came up a little bit too, like, hey, what's up, what's up? Like, not just like touching my hand, but like he noticed my hostility and just little shit. I'm not fucking walking around with a gun on me, but he knew I was really fucking pissed off at him. And I had my friend with me. And so I was thinking, after I was analyzing that for a minute, I was like, maybe he thought I was like sitting with my friend and we were just like, you just feel that tension, and it's smarter in life to diffuse it as soon as, if you can, just check it. Like, you don't, just, I think, stuff that I think about with women too. If something's on my mind, let's just talk about it. Let's just do it. Or we're not going to do it, or whatever. But like, I did not feel comfortable standing next to that dude. And my friend was just gonna fucking ignore it. And that's how you get mugged. It's just like, I don't feel comfortable. Let's walk away from this. It's like the dog on the fucking street in Puerto Rico. You gotta square up to the dog and be like, are you gonna bite me or are you not? The fucking most dogs that are loud, and then you reach down like you're gonna pick up a rock and they jump back. Because they know how this works. Like this guy, I'm like, yeah, doesn't my friend look like he look gay? And then, but now he lets out, yeah, he looks like a faggot, and he explodes. It's like, whoa, it's a little weird, dude. What are we talking about? Because I'm being as cool as I can to him. So if he's gonna fight me, he's gonna have to be a real asshole. I'm trying to be I'm not gay. I'm trying to be normal. I'm trying to be chill. But then some people still want to fight the chill people too, right? So what can you do? But so in society, it's not accepted just to be violent for violence sake. If he was gonna gay bash, it was gonna have to. And I was kind of taking the wind out of this guy's gay bashing tendencies by bashing my friend in a joking manner. I don't know. My friend didn't really agree with me. He didn't really understand what I was trying to do, but I was trying to fucking avoid a fight for both of us somehow. I just have always felt like inclusive discussions, no matter how you get there, are better than isolated discussions, which then blow up into fucking chaos. I offer my hand even when I think it will be rejected, just to at least show that, look at this, it's good faith on this side. But I find a lot of intellectual bullying. Physical violence isn't accepted, but people feel like they could be dicks. Like, so me and Mike are at this coffee shop, and Mike has outgrown his physical bullying in high school. But I find it's kind of sad for me, because now he's defanged, because in a society where like there's still a competitive nature, and there's maliciousness and deceit and stealing and stuff like that. And we're at a coffee shop and we're just being chill, and there's Monterey's a college town, there's a state school there. And me and him were playing chess, and these kids were just kind of being a little bit rude next to us, and we were arguing about something. We asked the kids, "Hey, what like nemesis or something that is," and they were just rude to us, and so I had a mouth on me enough to just fucking mouth back to them and just kind of like reverse the logic against ourselves. And Mike was laughing, but why did he think of that? Why do I think of Mike when fucking he fought that other bully in middle school? It's like I demonstrated at that time just not only standing up for him, but him standing up for himself. It's like, don't let people push you around intellectually. Just like Mike showed me, like in middle school, that's what your friends do. We cover each other's blind spots. Is that we didn't know how to box, but this dude who knew how to box in 7th grade fucking boxed the shit out of Mike. And then fucking that didn't win the fight because Mike was still coming at him, and the dude was hiding behind his friends by the end of the fight. Because this fucking, you could hit me, but like it's hard. It's not about. It's like that Ray Lewis fight, the MMA fight. There's you'll know this is over when it's over. There's a definitive end to this thing. We're not keeping score, and we're not. This isn't a point system. You could hit me as many times as you want, but if I'm still coming at you, you haven't won this thing. You still have a problem. And the dude made his peace, and they're friends after that because he's like, this isn't one and done. Yeah, cool. You hit me a whole bunch of times in the face. You still, but who's hiding behind their friends? I'm still fucking coming after you until I put my hands on you. And then they got broken up and then my other friend in fucking high school who broke that kid's arm. It's just like, no, there's a certain spirit that just, once you turn it on, it just keeps going. And you recognize that in other people. And it's just like, yeah, it's not worth it. And I recognize that in Puerto Rico in someone. I really did not want to fight that guy. I was like, nah, because this guy's not going to fucking turn off. And then I wonder if we should, because then you have like years of simmering bullshit. Once I went down there and he's riding his horse. People ride their horses down there, and I'm coming up a hill. He comes down the hill. I'm in a stick. So I stop and I start rolling back, and so now I'm gunning it, so I'm rolling vroom, vroom, vroom up the hill, vroom, and he's on top of the hill on the horse, and the engine sound vroom, makes his horse buck. So now he's like on the horse, and it's something out of a movie. Fucking, I'm below him on the hill, vroom, vroom, and he's on the horse. It's like, oh fuck, we're just like, it looks like I'm fucking spooking this horse, and he's just being like, he won't let me get out of the way, and then he pulls up next to me. He's like, we gotta talk, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, man. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Just eyeball fuck each other from across he would come into the town square and I would just walk away. I'm just like, just keep our distance. I know his family, he knows mine. Hopefully we grow into older men with calmer temperaments. I worked with his friend, big guy, bodybuilder. Pretty big guy. I definitely don't want to fight his friend. He's more my size, even though when you shake his hand, it's like a baseball glove. I hate fucking like boxer hands, that like baseball mitts for hands, and you're living in the island, so like everything about you is tougher than the average person. Your fucking skin is calloused like a fucking piece of leather. And his friend was a boxer, and he also was a bodybuilder, and I went down there a couple years ago with that real estate money. Brought one of my friends, like 6'4", skinny young dude, but he's tall, and if you don't know him, he's a little bit imposing, and his spirit, he's very good at controlling his energy, and he has a very imposing spirit. But if you know him, these young guys, it's like they'd be worthless when something goes down. But he looks cool enough, and I run into this guy's friend in the. I used to work with him. I used to buy him cigarettes. I tried to be as humble as I could. I let him fuck with me. And I know his whole family, and we all know each other's stories once you live in a community. And I see him in the fucking store, and I'm like, what's up, dude? Offer him my hand. What's up? Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in a minute. He just looks at me. He looks down at me. He's like, you gonna fucking act like we're cool? Just like we're fucking cool? After all that shit you talked about? Because me and his friend had shit between us. And he did one of these. He looked down at me. It's like, he sized me up. He's like, is this worth it? Because that's why I work out. That's why you get strong. So that way when life pushes you, you say, well, this is my line. This is what I'm willing to tolerate, and this is what you work out to be able to put your roots in the ground when you have to, when the wind blows, right? A tree that's strong enough won't be blown away when the hurricane comes. You'll lose all your leaves, but your tree's still there. So my trunk was pretty thick at the time. So, but he fucking did one of those. I offer his hand, and he's just like, "You fucking gonna fucking act like we're cool?" And I just had to fucking give him back that energy. And be like, after what your friend said, you're gonna fucking say that it's my fault? And you just stand there. And then he just fucking looked at me, looked at my friend. And then I guess he said, thought it wasn't worth it, and he walked off. And I was like, I told him, you could be fucking stupid if you want, man. I was trying to be nice, whatever. But you just gotta stand there and let the wind blow. Just fucking, I try to be cool with you, man. But he thought about it. And I gotta like open conversations. You gotta be like, you wanna fucking still be stupid, man? I'm trying to be cool. I'm not trying to like have enemies in this life, but the wind's gonna blow. What can you do when the wind blows? Stuff that, isn't that how life is? What happens in New York, the wind blows. People tell me, this guy tells me, you owe me all the commission since you've been working at my company. You owe me $10,000 because you're on a 100% commission rate where we would give you all the commissions and you'd only have to pay us $500 a deal, but you left before the year was up, and so now retroactively you owe us half of all those commissions we paid you. You owe us $10,000. Some guy told me that once because I left his company before the year. I didn't read the contract. I guess that's what was in the contract. I was like, yeah, cool. Just send me an email in writing and I'll have my lawyer review it. Didn't hear from him again. There's a fucking wind blowing. The wind blows a lot. The wind blows a lot. So he says, so yeah, me and Mike, your friends, you learn how to fucking get through these fucking storms. He says, my B-Day was pretty awesome. I hung out with John when the bars closed. We had this great idea to go see Jacob. It was like 1:30 and we just showed up at his parents' house, hoping he was in the guest house. He wasn't there though, so I decided to use my searching skills to try and find him, and kind of did. He's a dance instructor in Redlands. These are just high school friends. Good too, winning awards and shit. I couldn't find his number, but I sure tried anyways. Google yourself already, get back to me. Yo, happy B-Day. He's trying to get a hold of me. I just emailed him the other day. Yo, hit me up. Yo, my bad. Had to get scolded by your baby mama to check this thing. She told me on Facebook, his wife. It's been too long, Mike. We'll plan a Cali trip soon. You and John kicking it at Jake hunting? How the F did y'all end back in Redlands? Crazy-ish. Email, got the mug book. I'll check it more often now. Should have checked the birthday post. Would have lifted my spirits. In NYC, running keys for the bag man, but ish went south. Had to come down to the Caribbean and lay low. More money, more problems type thing. I'm just being stupid. But it's all good. Cartel connections, blowing snow like Aspen, riding them fat asses like Juan Valdez. Moving weight like Arnold, real talk knit. What? Wham. Ow, I think you broke my jaw. I'm referencing the fact that Mike and his crew took the N-word away from me once upon a time, and I'll never forget this. I could say nigga. See, it still sounds weird. I could say it fluidly as good as you can, but when you fall out of practice, it just sounds stupid. Every now and then, even an earlier video, I try to fucking say some Jay-Z shit, and it takes practice, and I don't know. It's funny. It's just a funny little sociological thing. There's this one point, they're like, yo, you can't say that word. I was like, fuck if you can tell. I didn't curse back then. I was like, you're not going to tell me what I can or can't say. But they make it weird enough. I'd stop saying it, and then once you stop saying it, you fucking fall out of practice. And now every time you say it, if you fall a little bit too heavy, nigga, it just doesn't sound right. And it's a casual expression. It's not supposed to be an emphasized thing. Anyways, I guess I never forgot him for taking away that word from me. It's probably for the best. So we had this joke. It's like we would tell these stories, and then you say the N-word, and then, or maybe it was like some comedy shit. Anyways, inside jokes hardly ever make sense outside of the fucking group. Man, that Monterey chess game takes me back. Crazy how you have forgotten memories. Any others? Yellow Gallon Jug besides the Z from the Pokemon Life. We really snuck you into a mess hall, crashing into the cliff because of effing Bartle Bible. I think back sometimes to what would have happened if I stayed in Lisa Viejo instead of enlisting. Yeah, I stopped going to high school, and I went to crash at his apartment. His mom had a boyfriend, and she just kind of left him and his friends at the apartment for the last couple months of the lease. And I didn't want to go to high school anymore. So the last couple months, I knew I was going in the army. I went to crash over at his apartment, and I think, what if I just stayed in the apartment, lived with him in Lisa Viejo, which is like this little Southern California town by the beach. I even told my recruiter, I don't think I want to go in the military. He was like, too late, you signed the papers, you can't change your mind. Totally fucking lying and shit, but they trick people into getting in the military. No one, a lot less people want to go in the military that actually go in the military, but there's all these strong arm tactics and stupid shit. Would have fucked homeboy's sister. Yo, honey was so blazing. She was like Jay Kennedy. Word is bond to my mother, man. She was that ill. Take me to the dance floor and start whispering to me and shit. That's a Mos Def, a Miss Fat Booty line. We would always listen to that song, listen to other songs in the car. She was really cute though. There's a girl in Lisa Viejo, a friend of ours, his sister. I got drunk for the first time. We had a party in that apartment. Everyone was drunk. We got some Malibu, and I remember just talking to her until we both passed out. Just was starting to get those experiences that most people get in like high school and college and shit. And I kind of picked them up here and there where I could. Just normal shit that I didn't get being in my little sheltered Christian household. She was a really pretty girl, though. She was probably one of the prettiest girls I've seen in my life. I remember her still. Haha, life would have been different with any little change. Don't fret on the what ifs. You seem to be bossing out with that little Puerto Rican boo. I had a couple of them. It was good to see you in a shack living on the fat of the land. I'm glad one of us could do it. I'm living the 9 to 5, 40-hour work week. Paycheck stacking, responsible life I always feared. But it's worth having my little village and my wife at home to take care of them. John rolls through probably once a month to watch a Lakers game. Play some NBA 2K13. Wow, dating us 5 years ago. On the Xbox. For the most part, we play Call of Duty online. Memories are worth remembering. I'll take you even farther back. You remember why we couldn't make candles in Mrs. Poole's class? Because this dude named Austin, this teacher, I was going to say this bitch. She was a bitch, but she was a teacher. Um, she says, we would be making candles to learn about colonial history, but some of us are too irresponsible to do that, Austin. And she pointed at Austin. Fucking singled out this kid who like had like a, I would pick on him too in our crew. He was a cool dude, and I think he would later on he went on to be like the quarterback for like another high school, and he was like physically, his dad was a quarterback. They were a tough family, really athletic. But in our crew, he was like the white boy who dressed kind of funny, but always trying a little bit too hard. So it's like he didn't get picked on. Like he could scrap like more than me, and so it's not like people bullied him physically, but we kind of picked on him like. When people would pick on me, I would shift the attention to him. I got my like daily disses on Austin, and then people would be like, "Oh," and I just keep like clowning him, like fucking. But like the teacher would clown him, and that's kind of fucked up. I think he came over to my house once, and sometimes I think he would do this shit for attention. Uh, we were friends, and he would come over to my house with tapes that we would record rap. He's a white kid, and I'm half white, and we have a lot of black friends. And so me and him are getting really into hip hop, but we relate to it more. It's like it's natural for like the black kids being hip hop, but like me and him both had parents who didn't like hip hop, so it was like a secret. Like he'd come over and share his tapes that he recorded off of like Power 106, and like give me like you gotta listen to this, and like that's where like we would like when they first hit the radio. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. I wish I was a little bit taller. Wish I was a baller. Wish I had a girl who looked good I could call her. Wish I had a rabbit, a hat, and a bat. 6'4" Impala. Shit like that. You gotta listen on the weekends. We're supposed to be cleaning the house. He runs down from the other side of the apartment complex. Yo, you hear that shit? Here, I got it on tape. Yeah, I didn't. He was over at my house eating hot dogs. We were making hot dogs. And he was like telling my parents, it's so good, so good. These hot dogs are so good. And he has like the hot dog with all the toppings on it and all the fucking fixings and everything, and he's eating it. And we're like, Austin, the hot dog's right next to your bun. He had put all the toppings without the hot dog, and he was eating the bun with all the toppings. And yeah, some of that shit had to be on purpose. Anyways, you wonder about that if you picked on your friends too much. But yeah, and then he dated the girl I lost my virginity to, because by seventh grade, eighth grade, he was being the cool kid. He was fucking lifting weights, and he was starting to like do sports, trying to prepare himself to be on the football team, because his dad was a fucking quarterback of his high school team, and so Austin was going to be the quarterback. And then fucking the girl I first hooked up with, she told me in seventh and eighth grade, she was like, I'd date you, but you're not cool enough. Austin's cool. And so that's why she was dating Austin. I know she was I think she called herself mulatto, but she was a light-skinned black girl. And we were, yeah, there's like black, Mexican, white, but like our people that we hung out with were like mostly black. And she was or not mostly, but those are the cool kids. And in our group, in our neighborhoods. And she was the princess. She was the one that everyone wanted. And then I remember being over at her house, at her apartment complex across the street from my apartment complex. I had moved away from the one where everyone lived, and now I'm further down the street, more on the bad side of the tracks. But I was right across the street from her. And I would run over there and visit her and hang out. But they were officially dating, and that's where like I never bought into that shit. Like me and her were friends, and we were getting to know each other, but I didn't kiss her. Nothing happened until I hooked back up with her at 19. But we had the connection and talking and this and that. But he and her were dating, and he would come over and they'd walk around and hold hands and do shit. But I remember being at her apartment, then he comes over for like the date, and I'm hiding in the back while like they have to walk around the apartment complex, and they finish, and then she comes back to the apartment and then hangs out with me some more. She has to like make some excuse, like, all right, you gotta get out, and just like, this isn't right. Like, me and him stopped being friends. Not over that. He never found out about that. Well, there's like, I talked to her a lot at school, and at one point he was like, "What, you trying to fucking mess around with my girlfriend?" I was like, "Dude, I don't even know what the fuck. Are you guys dating? What are you guys doing?" But we were too cool for him to try to like bully me. He was just trying to figure it out. Like, what's going on? But I don't even know if he liked her. I heard that he was gay. Later on in high school or afterwards, I heard that. I don't know. I fell off with that guy. I wonder if I could Google him. I don't know. Some of these people in my high school, I didn't even, because there's the other high school that opened up and then everyone split apart. I should ask her. She probably kept in touch with him, if anything. She was gay for a little bit. I think she's bisexual now, because she was married to a girl in Mexico. But when she came back to New York, we definitely had a little thing. She definitely is open to men now, again. Life is complicated. It's funny. Used to hang out with this girl. He finally had a confrontation with you. It only took 7 years, but it seems like his suspicions were correct. Because Mike liked that girl too. Everyone liked that girl. At one point, Mike and I were in a letter writing war with her, and me and Mike almost broke up our friendship over her. Because Mike could write too, and he expressed his affection towards her. But I guess I had a good balance between writing and in-person communication. But yeah, she really liked me. We both were really into each other 7th and 8th grade, but she told me, she was like, I can't be with you because you're not. She was chasing that cool. Let me see if I can pull up another character of our lives. Started off bullying you with his friends to be down. Thought you were Romanian. What the fuck? Ended up thinking of you as a brother. I hope you can come out to the gods. P.S. Remember, oh no, most definitely Pharaoh, blazing hard in the Dodge Shadow, leaving the top down, even in a downpour, never using the doors, jumping in was no choice. We had this Dodge Shadow. After my 280Z, Datsun 280Z, when I was in the military, I had a Dodge Shadow as a convertible, and we just always left it down and let it fucking get rained on and shit, and then just never opened the doors, just always jump in and out. Mugshot Facebook for life. I should probably explain what happened in Florida. I think I did another video. This is the last video for today. I'll do a video tomorrow. since even though what's tomorrow? Friday, yeah. I'll do a last video tomorrow, and that will put us on track for where we're supposed to be. Oh, yeah, Florida weed arrest, colorful mug, NCA, GR. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see. Ooh, the water tastes a lot like fucking chlorine. I so I was in Puerto Rico, learning life lessons, making friends, making enemies, trying to walk that middle path between getting fucking pushed around and picking fights with whole communities. Because there's a lot of people who go down there fucking. I was in a bar once, and this fucking guy because there's this whole connection to Martha's Vineyard and that tourist industry on the northeast coast, and because they're off seasons, Puerto Rico's season is in the winter when the snowbirds are coming down, and then the people who are in Puerto Rico working sometimes go up to the northeast for their summer season, back and forth. And so a lot of the people who manage properties down there on these islands are from the northeast, and they're doing that double season thing. And there's this fucking, I never liked this dude, and these girls that like got too much caught up in cocaine and shit. That's what I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, I talk about these drugs like I do them. Like, I'm not superstitious against them, but I've never liked people who, I have certain values, but they're human values from a life that I lived myself, and I made my own decisions. So sometimes I feel like I have to explain them more. I don't respect addiction. I don't respect anything having control over me. But I'm not superstitious against drugs. So that means that I'm not going to do drugs that are highly addictive. And I'm not going to even keep drugs around me that are highly addictive, because I have a humility of, I know how addictive cocaine is. I've seen just like methamphetamines, not even once. Cocaine in my life, I found isn't that big of a deal, but I won't keep it on me, because you definitely start to get a habit, even if it's just like once a week, once a month. That could be a pattern of addiction. And then I've seen people who are every day, and then another thing I really don't respect is people who use drugs in order to get girls, preying on the weak, preying on the elderly, children, women. So there's some guys who will always keep coke on them. This guy, he's not a bad guy, but he's like, yeah, I always keep a little coke on me because people seem to like it. It's like, yeah, but it's a very highly addictive substance. It's like, yeah, everyone likes it, but like, are you helping people? Are you being a benefit in their lives? New York's a lot like that too. These party girls who will fucking, where's the coke at? This and that. It's just, there's a certain energy to that, but it's hard to describe. It's not a clear-cut case. When I was at the penthouse party with the dancer, she likes it a little too much, and I don't like that aspect of her and don't like it around. When I found it in my house, I was pretty sure it was her secret stash, and she knows I didn't want it in my house. So I said, all right, we're doing this tonight. I found it in my house. Must have been one of the hostel people. But I looked at her in the eyes when I said it. And she's a good liar. She didn't give me any tells. I still am not sure if it's hers. But I laid it all out. And I invited some other friends over, and we did it all that night. It's like, yeah, great. Now it's gone. Now it's done. It's not like sugar around here. We don't stock it. It's like cigarettes too. I can't really have cigarettes in the house. I'm not one of those people who can just have an occasional smoke. I have friends like that who will always keep like a pack around. If they're around, I'll smoke them. So keep them away. Some things like weed, other stuff I can put down. Some people might be like that with weed and other stuff, but for me, the stimulants, that's like coffee. I guess I have an issue too. So yeah, some people maybe stimulants more so. Other people maybe like opioids. I don't think opioids. I wouldn't test it though, because I know enough junkies that I wouldn't hold that, because just it seems like it's that blind spot is like, it's really hard to tell when you're caught up with that. I know very smart people who lie to themselves about that. But yeah, using drugs to manipulate women into sex, or to even influence the chances of you having sex, is kind of a shitty behavior. Even alcohol. At one point I used to think like, oh, have a couple drinks with a girl just to lubricate, to like get in the mood, but it's not the best way to approach women. That you have to, even if you're both getting drunk, it's like you want to be able to approach people somewhat sober too. Like, it's cool to have drinks and stuff like that, but as your go-to get the girl drunk in order to lubricate this social situation. That's probably not the best go-to card. So there's this guy who was there who his go-to card was pulling out the bag of coke. So I kind of just all these little like my like I had some friends down there were like I would think like they really don't need to be doing as much of the stuff that I tried to tell them. I was like, just try to like not 2 nights in a row. Little rules for yourself. Don't keep bags on you. If you notice like you're partying with tourists. Tourists go down there openly to fucking do cocaine because they know the Caribbean has good coke. That's what these war on drugs are like. There's sexual tourism in the Philippines and there's drug tourism in the Latin America. These I have a great story about that. They fucking teachers from Brooklyn, very good wholesome girls, teach for America girls, but when they're in the Caribbean, they were having the Caribbean adventure, and that is how Latin America is preyed upon by others, not just economically, but just that is becomes the identity. When I see Drake with some music video about Coke Boys, it's like, oh, that's so cool. That's very entertaining and funny. And then my friend, I know that because I don't listen to Drake, but my friend, she brought it up and she was crying. She was so pissed off because she was dating a cokehead who thought it was glamorous to be a dealer, and he fucking living at his parents' house and he just could not get off the shit. And she was like, these people fucking glorify the culture that is killing us. And then I have another friend who tells me he won't even do it because of that. He's like, I don't like the politics. So I get that. There's all these different sides. I don't know if I'm there yet, but my friend, he's like, I don't want to contribute to that. I don't like that whole system. I don't want to be an input into that system. I've been sitting at a bar in New York talking to someone, and then just all of a sudden the guy is like a trader or some shit, and the conversation goes to drugs. And he says, oh, by the way, do you know where I can get some? He just assumes that fucking I have a connect or I am a connect. Just because I'm a little bit Latin or a little bit darker, I'm not white. It's like, yo, we're the ones who hold. We're the ones who take the risk to hold for fucking the rest of society. That's kind of fucked up, right? We're the holding class. And we are held then in prison. When I was in that bay, fucking 500 people playing my chest for ramen and shit. Fucking, like, at least a third, a fourth of those people were in there for nonviolent drug offenders. A lot of people for weed. Like, what the fuck type of society do we have? For-profit prison. They were going to hold me for 60 days until my court date. Every day is another fucking paycheck for them. And then luckily the public defender found me because I had talked to the in-processing girl, just talking shit like, you guys, fucking weed's not legal here? I'm from California. What the fuck are you doing in Florida? That's why my mugshot looks like that. That was my what the fuck are you doing in Florida face. I fucking, I looked constipated because I was still high. Fuck, I should tell that story too. Fuck, there's a couple of loose ends here. What was I talking about? She is. Those workouts fucking wear me the fuck out. My friend said that she was going to commit suicide. I was in Puerto Rico. Starting to hit my stride. Like being able to approach women. Being stupid too. Starting to learn some stupid shit comes out my mouth that probably shouldn't come out my mouth. What those dudes down there with like our local scene and shit like that. These tourists come and then like one of them will always like one of them is known to always get the first one off like the boat. Like if she's cute, he's the first one hitting on her. He could ride a skateboard on his hands and shit. Like he could do handstands on the skateboard up and down the street. Some cool shit. So he peacocks in front of them and shit. But then there's other girls who come on plane and other shit. And there's other ways that they avoid the obvious fucking first dudes trying to come at them. There's this one girl who is one of the prettiest girls fucking I've ever been with, easily, if not the prettiest. And she has a tragic story. This year we ran back into each other and her life's fucking falling apart. But back then she was still a princess with everything together, and now she's a princess losing her fucking mind and her kingdom. But we just started vibing, we started hanging out, and there's this other dude trying to go after her, this fucking like cool dude, and he's a pretty fucking cool, pretty big buff dude. And he told her once, like, she had already decided to hang out with me, and she started to stay over at my little room, that's still that little $150 room. When my friend was there, it was $75. And then if I found a girl, like a tourist girl or someone, I'd fucking get him like a pack of smokes and a bottle of whiskey. And I'd be like, yo, hit the hammock for tonight. I got company. And he's like, all right, just give me smokes and whiskey in the morning. And he'd tell me, he's like, I don't know how you do it, dude. And you start to learn what your type is, or you have a passion. I had the tour guide thing going for me. I knew some good spots. And so anyways, this girl was an adventure, and we start hanging out. And one of the local dudes was like, you eating filet mignon right now, man. You eating good. You eating that filet mignon. And we're like, yeah. You start to like, maybe it's a little silly. But I was going to say, so that's the island swag that you get. And one of my friends, she told me, you guys think you're so fucking cool. It's just these girls come down here looking for an adventure. Anywhere else, you guys wouldn't be shit. But for some reason, down here on this island, these girls eat it up. But she was doing her shit too. And so I go down there for one of these trips with that real estate money over the last couple of years. And these girls are trying to... I think I already told this story. Anyways, the reason I was going to talk about those girls is that you talk about girls too much and you just start sounding like a dumbass. They were fucking like doing a lot of blow that night, and I just was seeing it from that perspective. These white girls coming down from Brooklyn, and when they're down here, they wanted to have their blow stories and their blow adventure. And then I was like their brown stories and their brown adventure. And you just get kind of tired of being someone's story. Like when it becomes too obvious. That's what like this Tinder girl recently. She wanted a Mexican dude. She had tamales she brought on the date. She fucking lived in Mexico. And when I started talking about myself and politics and shit like that, it's like, it wasn't about me. It was about me fitting into her story and her narrative. And like with these girls, when I ran into that one time, I was just like, that kind of turned me off. They're just all about the cocaine and and I'm down for partying, but it was just like, for them, it was like, ooh, we're in the Caribbean and we just fucking did like coke off the stripper's ass and now we're fucking doing this and that. It's like, that's what's kind of wrong with the world. It's like if everyone goes down there to take a dump, then you just end up with a cesspool. That's not culture. That's not respect. And I noticed when I was more on that side too. And I could see why like people get pissed off about that. And I started to develop other ideas about that. And that's why I stayed with the lady who was with a struggle about reclaiming land. I try to put my energy in positive places when I could. It's okay to have fun in life and experience joy and fucking money and party. And that's why I say not superstitious. I'm not superstitious about fucking experiencing the fun that everyone else is experiencing, because I want to peek my head in all the doors, and some of the doors are doors of debauchery, doors of fucking craziness. When Shaw was a dominatrix, I was like, all right, do some of the shit on me, I guess. Like, what is ball torture? And then she ties up my balls with fucking string and shit like that. And I'm like, that's not, now I know that that's not my thing. Before I suspected that wasn't my thing. Now I know that cutting off the circulation of my nuts is not a way in which I want to experience pleasure in life. But thank you for showing me that. I don't think you need to fucking stick a dildo lubricated with icy hot up my ass either. I think we're good. I think that's a door I don't even have to peek into. I could just kind of like see it from here. Like, that's cool. All right, I got it. Moving on to the rest of what humanity has to offer. So I'm in Puerto Rico, and then my friend's like, Addie, my one first girl that I actually fell head over heels for. Like that girl in 7th grade, and then we had sex for the first time when I was 19. She was my first sexual experience, but Addie was my first like love, which kind of messed up that, because me and that girl got back in touch every now and then, but like after Addie, it was like, now I need a wild one. Addie went off the rails, and that's why she went into addiction. I find that the most interesting people are the ones that addiction preys upon, because life offers them, well, first of all, because they're preyed upon themselves, and now they're dealing with trauma that something in them so beautiful also attracted the predators, and also there wasn't a good support system around them to protect them from it. And then but also it's because society doesn't really offer us much in the way of creativity, self-expression, unique individuality. It's conform, buy into the dominant narrative, make money, support these power structures, just fucking be a square peg in a square fucking hole, damn it. Go to school, fucking go to college. Barack Obama is the fucking family you want to emulate, or Hillary Clinton, or this and that. But these are power-hungry sociopaths. Don't worry about it. Yours is not a life to live values and character. Yours is a life to accumulate power and support power structures. And don't worry about integrity. Don't question these wars. Just support the troops. Don't question the troops or those who lead them into war. Just fucking support them. We want your fucking support, not your fucking opinion, okay? If you wanted your fucking opinion, this would be a free country. It's not a free country. It's a police state. So shut the fuck up and watch your shows and watch your fucking sports and shut the fuck up. That's what constantly I feel from the world. Just shut the fuck up. You ask too many questions. We're trying to protect you for your own good. We're trying to keep you safe. Seatbelt laws keep you safe, protect you from yourself. Pornography laws, indecency, cryptography. You can't have secrets. We can't allow you to have secrets because then you can hide stuff from us and then we won't know what you're doing. If we don't know what you're doing, you might be hurting yourself. You might be hurting us. You might be hurting something. Sanitation. Occupy Wall Street. We have to beat your asses and throw you in jail for your own good. Sanitation. You guys are filthy living on the street here. You can't have your protest camp downtown. You can't even have your place in history. We have to ignore you. We have to rewrite history and write you out of it for your own good. Because this was never... You're fucking up the narrative. We have something we're trying to do here globally with world trade and everything else. And you're getting in the way. Your questions and your protests and your agitation are getting in the way of what we're trying to do. Just let it do what we're trying to do. Otherwise, this is how you get Trump. Or their logic. I don't know what the fuck their logic is going. And then you have me trying to fucking piece it together on the side, trying to create a sane narrative outside the dominant structure. And then you have people like Addie who are just like, just fuck it, numb it, just numb everything. She would fucking do whippets. And I was like, I don't like these whippets. I just feel like I'm killing my brain cells. I did those once with her. She was like, don't you feel like you're talking with God? Yeah, she... Some people don't have the fucking... Some people are just worn down by life to the point that they put a gun to their head. And her boyfriend was an asshole enough to get her addicted to oxy. She told me she was doing 3 to 5 of those blue oxys a day during the worst part of it. And I saw her, I went down there. I show up at her apartment finally. That's a whole nother story, but I got a whole nother one to talk about that. Show up at her apartment. I'm like, yo, you don't look good. We go in the back room. We start talking. Her boyfriend comes home. Who the fuck are you? Yo, I'm just her friend. She's like, this is my friend from California. I told you, remember? He's just my friend. Because that's one thing, we never had anything. So when we talk to people, it's like, that's just my friend. There's a sincerity to that. Like, this is beyond, like especially Puerto Rico helped me too. I've gotten my rocks off already. I have my feet under me. I'm starting to as like a dude. It's like, you're my friend. Like, this is life or death shit. She's becoming a part of my story, a part of my autobiography. Your friends hold your narrative for you. I'm there to remind her of who she is. Yo, what's going on? What's really going on? The dude's like, all right, I'll come back in an hour to take you home. And when he leaves, I'm like, yo, I don't like that dude. You need to get the fuck out of here. And I'm already piecing it together. He's keeping her doped up in the back room. She was doing dancing or she was doing some sort of fucking shady ass job. That's how she met him. And then he fucking kept her doped up in the back of his apartment. He has this little fucking family business he was born into. And now they're both doing a bunch of drugs. He knows she's suicidal. He has a gun because he's a Floridan, like, fucking southern boy. But he knows enough to fucking not keep the ammo and the gun ready to be fired with her at home because she has track marks and cutting marks all over her arms. And then the cops bust in. Hello? Fucking start calling her name out, come into the back room. There's weed on the bed. Whose weed is this? I say it's mine. I don't want her to go to jail. They see the track marks and the cut marks on her arms. I think it's Baker Act. They hold her against her will for like 2 weeks in Florida. I go to prison. The cops told me, they said, if you just said it was his, it's his apartment, he would have been here instead of you. I was trying to help my friend out. I tell him, well, I have a plane ticket to Seattle in a week. Oh, then now we have to book you because you're a flight risk. What? It's fucking $20 worth of weed. And I told the cops on the way to prison, I was like, smoke it though. You guys might need it. Like, you're taking it from me, but please just smoke my weed. It'll change.